Welcome back to Knucklehead Garage. Today, I'm hoping Rusty Bobby can help bail me out one more time.
Yeah! Woo! Let's go!
For a recap, this is Wolley. We've done a lot of work on him since we got him a couple months ago. Engine's running, brand new brakes, replaced the rear axle, new shocks, new seat, and he's very close to getting back on the road. Last episode, I dropped the gas tank because I wasn't getting gas to the engine and realized it was full of rust. And now it's back to trusty Rusty Bobby, see what he can help us with in terms of the gas tank. The stock gas tank on these guys live usually right under there. Now on Rusty Bobby, that was taken off when the running boards were taken off, and I know that there's a gas tank inside the cab. But when I first purchased the truck, I just figured someone got a gas tank that actually fits in there. But the more I look at it, it looks very similar to what was in Wolley. And although there are a couple differences, the sending unit location is different, and the location where the gas comes from the tank is in a different location. But I'm gonna take some measurements. I think it's actually the same shape, and it might have actually come from this truck originally, and just someone put it back there as they were converting this. So let's take some measurements. It does actually look like it's the right size, which tells me it's probably from this truck. And in true doodlebug fashion, someone just took it out and put it behind the seat. But before I get too excited, I gotta check the condition of inside the tank. And when I did that on the other tank, I had it up on my bench so I could put a flashlight down there. It was really nice and easy. But I couldn't really see everything, but I knew enough it was really rusty. But I splurged a little bit and I got one of these Boroscopes, Amazon purchase, 20 bucks. I haven't actually used one of these guys before, but I'm pretty sure it's just a plug and play. You put it in your iPhone, in my case, download the app, and then you're good to go. So let's see if we can actually see what's going on in that tank, and fingers crossed. All right, guys, I am all set up. I got my phone here so I can look at what's going on inside. Take this thing off. And in we go. Right out of the gate, I can actually see what looks like a stick there. Not a good first sign, but I'll keep going. And I can actually see from just the light of the boroscope peering through here, through this neck, it looks pretty clean. Let's see if I can get a good angle. Yeah, look at that. A little bit of surface rust, but nothing like what Wolley had. Oop, we got some dry debris. This thing is like bone dry, which is a little suspicious. I'll have to make sure if I do use this thing that I check for leaks before I fill it up for the first time. But that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can rotate this. I'm sure it's hard to see what's going on, but I'm just trying to see a couple different walls there. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to get too excited, but this definitely warrants taking this thing out, putting it side by side to the other gas tank from Wolley, making sure it's actually the same size and it'll work. And if so, see if I can rinse it out, see if it leaks, and fingers crossed, maybe I can actually use it. So let's get this thing out of here, get it in the shop. Let's do it. It's pretty clear these things are very similar in size. So I'm like 100% confident that I'm going to be able to use the one I just pulled out from Rusty Bobby in replacement of this guy. Now there are a couple differences. The sending unit location is different. So on Wolley it's kind of centered. Over here on Rusty Bobby it's a little offset. The biggest difference though is on the original there was actually a pickup that went down to almost the bottom of the tank that would suck the gas up. On the one I just pulled out, it's actually located here, closer to the bottom of the tank. Not all the way at the bottom, so it can pull up any of that sludge and stuff. But I'll do some quick measurements and just make sure that that's not in the way of something. But I'm pretty confident that's underneath the frame rail. And to be honest, that's going to make it a little bit easier to route and to hook up and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, everything else looks almost identical, if not the same. You can even see like where the original straps were here. You can see signs of a strap that was once there. Same thing on the other side here. You can kind of see a strap mark where it was over there. So I'm starting to think I might actually be able to use this tank, being a little optimistic, but I may have just dodged a huge bullet thanks to Rusty Bobby. But before I go any further, I do want to get this cleaned up on the outside, see if I can take the sending unit off, the drain plug out, which actually is in a slightly different location as well, which I forgot to mention, and then also take the pickup valve, or whatever you want to call it, on this tank out. And if all that's good, then I'm probably going to use it. So let's do it. Why would anyone put a stick down there? So the gas tank actually cleaned up pretty nice. I'm not too worried about a little bit of dirt and rust on the outside. But the more I look at it, the more I'm convinced that this is probably was reconditioned at some point. There are, it looks like some welds here, probably some pinholes that may have been kind of welded up. Same thing here. And just the fact that it has this silver paint over what looks like some black stuff there. And really no issue with a reconditioned tank, because that's probably what I was going to do with Wolley over there. But I just want to make sure that it's still good. So I was able to get the drain plug out, no issue. I was able to get this out with a little bit of help from that impact driver there. The one thing that I may have kind of messed up a little bit, and I'm regretting I touched this at all, I was trying to get this piece out, which is the pickup, and there actually is a line inside that goes towards the middle of the tank and is offset from the bottom of the tank about a ½ an inch, so it probably doesn't pick up any of that sludge or anything. But I tried to rotate this guy out, thinking that it would unthread, and it didn't unthread. It just kind of broke a solder joint or brazing joint between the pickup and the tank. So I got to figure out whether I can rebraze that, solder it, whatever it is, or figure out what I got to do there. And I'll have to do that before checking whether this is holding and it doesn't leak. So I got to do a little bit of research and see what else I got to do to get that fitting back the way it was supposed to be, and then clean it out once and hopefully get it back on the truck soon. Next day back in the shop, I've done a little bit of research and I landed on my approach to move forward. I'm going to do two things. One, I'm actually going to try to solder this back a little bit. It's very clear after cleaning it for a little bit that this was brazed or soldered together. I'm going to just use the soldering stuff that I have here for plumbing. We'll see if that works. I'm also going to do the JB Weld approach. Good old JB Weld. I think that will work probably by itself, but I might as well try to see if I can get it brazed a little bit first. So let's see how this goes. The tank is pretty dry. It does smell like a little gas, so I'm a little worried that I'm going to blow something up here, but I'm going to start by putting a flame from my torch on the other side, just make sure the thing doesn't blow up before I actually start applying some real heat here. I didn't die. The tank didn't blow up. I was able to get some solder in there. That fitting is not rotating now, which is a good sign, but I don't know if I made that seal better. So I am going to go with step 2. Once this cools down, I'm going to go ahead and clean this off and slather it with JB Weld. And I'm going to do that all the way from steel part here all the way up to this brass fitting. I'm not going to worry too much about getting JB Weld on those threads because this isn't rotating relative to that bung anyway, so I don't think there should be any issue there. After I do that, I should be able to do kind of a quick leak test and see if there's any fluid leaking from this. I'll probably use acetone or something and slosh it around a little bit and then see if it leaks.
This is the sound that the gods will play to part the clouds.
I think I've got it in all the right places here, and I'm hoping it'll seal, but I got 24 hours to let it cure, and there are a couple spots that are kind of thick, so I'm going to give it at least a day before I do anything and see if it'll actually hold. It's been a week since I have soldered and JB welded this joint here. I let the JB weld cure for 2 days, which is more than what they recommend. I then put about a gallon of gas in the tank to start leak testing it, and I did that in 2 different orientations. The one that you see here, which is the way that it will be sitting in the truck, and I'm really testing the bottom side of the tank, which typically kind of rusts out, has pinholes, and also testing the drain plug, which I reinstalled. And I haven't seen any leaks there, which is great. I had it in this orientation for about 2 days. I also had it rotated 90 degrees like this, where that joint that I just soldered in JBL welded was at the bottom, just to see if there was any fluid coming out of there. Both orientations, no fluid, which is a really good sign. So I'm getting ready to put this thing back in the truck. There are a couple things I got to do. First thing, I'm going to slosh it around a little bit with that gallon of gas in there and try to get as much crap out of there as I can. The second thing I got to do is I got to actually install this new sending unit, which I just got in the mail here. This is kind of a generic replacement that I know will fit, but I will have to adjust it a little bit. The float on the original one is a couple inches higher relative to that top surface, so I'll probably have to put a bend in here to make sure this thing doesn't bottom out on the tank, which it does because I've already checked that. I do have to get a couple things wired up here. I have to make sure this is grounded well, and then also attach a wire to this so I can bring it back up to the dash. And then the last thing that I'm going to do, which is purely cosmetic, I am actually going to paint this neck black. And I've already stripped it to do so. The only reason I'm really doing that is it actually sticks out between the cab of the truck and the bed of the truck. And I kind of want to just make it disappear. I don't want to bring any attention to it. So I'm just going to paint it flat black real quick, and hopefully no one will know the difference. And then I'm ready to get it back on the running boards and get it back up in the truck and hopefully actually pull gas from it into the engine. So let's do it.
Let you squeeze out. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with our underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around. No more summer dance, let you squeeze out. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with our underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around. No more summer dance, let you squeeze out. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with our underwear out.
Back under the car, I was able to get the gas tank wrestled in there. This kind of rat's nest is actually what I want. I've got ground coiled up here. I've got the fuel sense line coiled up here. And then I do have some extra cables, which I'm not sure what they are yet. That'll be the next episode. But I also did get the gas line hooked up. So I am using rubber line. I know I should probably use hard line, but for now I'm using rubber. It's all fuel rated. So this guy is headed up to the engine bay. And I will show you what I've got going on up there now. Up top, we got the gas line coming from the fuel tank back there, going into one inline fuel filter here before the mechanical fuel pump. I did actually get a new mechanical fuel pump. Hopefully it is compatible. It wasn't too expensive, about $50, and I figured it's probably cheaper than rebuilding the one from Wolley or Rusty Bobby. I've got more rubber line going across the engine over to a second inline fuel filter, which will make its way to the carburetor. But first, I've got the carburetor hooked up still to the snowblower fuel tank. I'm gonna let the engine run for a little bit on that and monitor fuel coming to this and the other fuel filter. If that's working, then I should be good, and I should be able to run this engine on the new gas tank. So let's see if it works. I didn't think it would come up that quick. So, sweet. We're good. Let me get that hooked up and I will try to run it off the gas tank. That is awesome. We are officially running on gas out of the gas tank from the truck. So that's a huge milestone, and that's also a huge box to check as we're getting closer to getting this thing back on the road. Up next is electrical. I am still running hot wired from the battery to the coil over there. I don't even use the key. I still have this remote start button. So that's really the next one. I got to get that one tackled. But yeah, we are getting very close to getting this thing back on the road. So I am super psyched. As usual, thanks for following along. If you like this, make sure you guys subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. And I will catch you on the next episode. See ya.